to Chairs
and Benches.
I'm Ayoka.
I'm Shaun.
And Shaun is my cousin, guys. I know you guys haven't seen this face before, but today she's here with me. And today we'll be discussing the fact that we agree with POLITRICKS watch.
So basically he had a video that was titled, Jamaica has a father shortage and mothers need to take some of the blame.
Yeah. And he could have backed his argument with some serious statistics.
He also covered drug abuse. Children who do not have, or youths who do not have fathers in the home tend to be prone to drug abuse, alcoholism, also are victims of child molestation, and have a higher rate of being incarcerated as well.
Yeah. We find it very easy to, address the issues with dads. But what POLITRICKS Watch was saying is that we need to start putting some pressure on the moms, because the moms do play a role in the decisions and we have to take some accountability. So he gave 10 questions that people from single parented homes should ask their moms, because honestly, he really raised a good point. Like, the moms need to be accountable also, because some of the times the decisions that they make
ending up having to raise their child alone and not really just blaming the father for being absent, but also taking some of that blame as well.
Yeah, so moms gotta get it together. So we're gonna attack the moms today. Maybe we'll talk to the dads next time, but today we're talking to the mommies, okay? All right, so I'm gonna jump right into the questions that he said that you guys should ask your mom if you're from a single parented home, just to dig to the root issue and see if she had any impact on, the situation that you're facing or you faced as a child. All right, guys. So the first question that POLITRICKS Watch suggested that you ask your mom is, why did you continue to have kids if you are living in poverty? Most of these questions will be tough questions to ask your mom, but I think they're relevant questions. So most times, people who live in poverty have larger families. If you're finding it difficult to raise your kids, to feed your kids, to clothe them, why would you continue to have more kids? If we were to get technical, there's some other factors that might have impacts on that, which would be access to contraceptives and education. But yeah, ask your mom, why did you continue to have more kids when it was difficult with the ones you already had?
The next question was, how is it that you're able to pay for your hair, your nails, but then when it comes to your child's school fee or tuition, you're not able to come up with the money? And sadly, that seems to be a case for mothers who aren't able to handle their money effectively. I don't think that they intentionally don't want to provide for their children. I think that it's just not having priorities and knowing that, okay, these things need to be dealt with before I can go do my nails or I can go do my hair and all of these things. So if you were struggling as a child and you weren't taken care of, but yet your mother always had her hair done or her nails done, why is that? Especially as Black people, sometimes I feel like we place importance on things that are not going to benefit us in the long run.
All right, so the next question that POLITRICKS Watch suggested asking your mom is, were you in a committed relationship with my dad? Yeah, so oftentimes, the relationship failed and the mom will fail to mention to the kids that, the relationship wasn't a committed relationship. A lot of the times, single parented family could have been premeditated, or you could have told that this would be the result as a mother, because the relationship wasn't committed to begin with. And I feel like moms need to be honest about this, because sometimes I guess the guilt or the shame that's associated, but being honest with your child and letting them know that, hey, this relationship wasn't committed, but I still decided on having you. This is why our situation is the way it is.
The next challenging and difficult question to ask is that, did you and my father plan a pregnancy, or was this just like a whoops situation? In today's society, I feel like as women, they're given the choice on whether or not they want to have children, when they have children, If they end up getting pregnant, they have the choice to have an abortion. Sadly, we're given that choice. But for men, they don't have that choice. It's like up to the woman at that point. And are they to blame? Yes, they do have to take a sense of responsibility, because they chose to sleep with this woman. They got her pregnant. Yes, they should stand up to the plate. But at the end of the day, you chose to lay down with this man knowing good and well he didn't want to have kids, and now he's not in the picture and your kids have to pay the price for that, you know, you have to bear that responsibility, I believe.
Yeah, 100%. All right. So the next question that he mentioned that you could ask your mom is, when did you realize that my dad was a bad person, and why did you choose to have more children with him? Most times when a single parent mom had a failed relationship, she would oftentimes discuss with the kids how horrible the person was and discuss all the, you know, flawed attributes of their dad, and they know a lot of negative things about their dad. So the question is, you know, when did you find out he was a bad person? Because sometimes, to be honest, we see red flags. So it's like, if you as a woman should take some accountability for ignoring the red flags, or, you know, you didn't do enough research, you don't know their background, and you choose to have a child with them, and then afterwards you realize. So I feel like as a mom or as a woman, that's something that we should be conscious of. So we should know a little bit more about the person that we're choosing to start a family with, or even share a child with. And, you know, sometimes we like the bad guy persona, but I feel like it's very, very unfair when you're bringing a whole human being into this situation.
The next difficult question is, why did you choose to get pregnant for a man that couldn't even fend for himself, that isn't even able to provide for himself, let alone a child of his own? I mean, a lot of thought needs to go into the person you choose to have a child with. And sadly, a lot of times, women, they don't think about that, especially in the Jamaican culture where, you know, dancehall continuously promotes sex with any and everybody. You need to know the repercussion of sex, and sex is able to produce a child. And when that child is here, there's responsibilities that need to be dealt with. And if the man can't fend for himself, he's definitely not going to be able to fend for your child. And so you need to be able to vet these men that you choose to lay down with, and know, okay, can this man sustain me? Can he help me and my family? Like, if I get pregnant for him, will he be there for my child? And he also mentioned that sometimes as women, we tend to look at physical traits. He's got bandy legs, he's got nice hair, but what else can he bring to the table? What else can he do other than look good? Like, that's not going to do it. That's not going to cut it.
No, that won't feed you, baby.
Yeah.
So the next question that he mentioned was, did you use the law to prevent my father from seeing me in any way? And this is another good question to ask, because oftentimes mothers will ignore the fact that she put legal implications in place so that the dad was not able to interact with her. Sometimes we as women become really bitter when a relationship fails or when a man hurt us, and in turn we will, you know, do certain things to make their lives more complicated. A lot of women do this as a revenge, or, you know, sometimes every time the men is around, there is a lot of conflict. And I would consider that legal. Like, sometimes police have to get involved, sometimes there is abuse, verbal, physical, and some men will decide to avoid the situation even though they love the child and would love to have a relationship. It becomes very difficult, especially when you're dealing with the courts, and it's like a lot of money and a lot of time and energy. I mean, it's not an excuse, but some women really do make it, you know, more difficult for the man to have a relationship with the child. And once they're gone, I feel like you should be honest with your kid and let them know that, hey, I might have caused him to want to stay away based on the turmoil in our personal relationship, and then it kind of, you know, affected the kid. When the child is old and choose to pursue finding their dad, and then they find out the real truth, then they have resentment towards the mom for not being honest about what really took place and what the details of, you know, why the dad is really not around.
The next question to ask is, why is every good thing that I achieve a result of you? But yet when it comes to the negative things, it's, you know, those traits were taken from my father. And sadly, you know, I feel like mothers tend to say negative things about their child, especially if they're doing something wrong. They'll bring up the fact that, oh, it's your father that, you know, causing you to do all these negative things, or you're nothing, you're just like your father when it comes to these negative things. It's like they need to take some of the blame as well. Did they not raise their child? They're the ones that raised them. We have to be aware of the things that we speak into our children. I feel like words have a large impact on children. It has an impact on their self-esteem. And already as children growing up without a father, that definitely already plays a negative effect psychologically and emotionally. And then mothers verbally saying these things to children, it's almost like abusive. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So if your child is doing something bad, don't blame the father. Why can't you take some of that blame as well? Again, you're the one that chose to produce this child with a father that is not in the child's life. So who's to blame, really? The child can't take that blame.
So the next question that he suggests that you ask your mom is, do you realize that I am your son and not your husband? Stop sabotaging my relationships because you want me to be around forever. And this is a serious one, especially for the guys and their moms. Single parent moms towards their sons, or moms in general towards their sons, are super protective, but particularly single parent moms who have invested everything that she had in her son sometimes feel as though there is some attachment, or she is scared for him to leave. And this is something that we have to be careful and mindful of, because life cycle, this is what God ordained life to be. Like, a man needs to leave his home and start his own family. So that attachment is very negative. In fact, it could actually lead to the same cycle that you just came out of. You don't want your son to become an absentee father in his family. So you want to teach him, you want to impart on him to become a great father. And in doing so, you will have to, disconnect somewhat and allow him to, focus on his own relationship with his girlfriend or his wife, focus on his kids, so that way he won't repeat the same actions that his dad did. So as mothers, we have to be conscious of, knowing that this is an important step to make. And some moms too feel as though, wants to invest so much in their kids, which is a big job to be two parents in one. But they feel like there's an obligation, like the son owes them now, like, okay.
The next question was, why did you continue to bring waste man after waste man in the home, knowing that, you have a child already, little girl, even little boys, that could potentially be a victim of sexual abuse? This is a underlying issue in Jamaica. A lot of children are affected by this. I think that more people are coming out now that as adults, and I think now in Jamaica a lot of people are coming out and they're telling their stories about the things and trauma that they went through as children. And as parents, I think your number one priority should be protecting your children. Why would you bring somebody in the home that you don't even know? And children who don't have their fathers there, usually the father is the protector of the home. Now there's no father in the home, so they're obviously exposed to predators. And then when the child does decide to come forward and tell their parents, a lot of times they're not believed. And that's the most shocking part to me, is that children aren't believed when they're telling their parents that, I'm being abused by my stepfather, I'm being abused by this man that you brought into the home. And as parents, your number one priority is to protect your child. When there's no father in the home, I think kids are more exposed to these predators, and they are the protectors of their children. They're the protectors of their family, and when they aren't there, who's there to protect them? Who's there to watch over them? As mothers, you need to be aware of that. You need to have that. It's almost a cringy thing to talk about, because you can't even fathom how could somebody do this to a child. How could somebody want to prey on a little child? But that's the reality, sadly. And be open with your children. If they aren't comfortable around people, ask them why.
Pretty heavy questions, and sometimes it might be difficult. And I know I'm not really trying to bash moms here, because honestly, being a single parent mom is something I wouldn't wish on anybody. It's something that we all have to be prepared for once you have a child, because society makes it seem as though the man can freely leave. He has less connection with the child, whilst a mom has more obligations to be there for her child. And it's obviously difficult. but at the same time, we still have to be accountable. We still have to be aware of the decisions we're making. We still have to be conscious. We still have to at least attempt to prevent these things from happening, prevent a broken home. There's a lot of single parent moms out there that's killing it and rocking it and producing really, you know, great adults. But some of the times, you know, the ones that do fail, sometimes the women have to take some responsibility also.
Yeah, exactly. I think women have to be actually take more responsibility when it comes to producing a child. We are the ones who decide who we allow to produce with or reproduce with. And so, you know, be aware of that. Don't just sleep with anybody and then when a child comes up, now you're just wondering what to do. It's not like like Nako was saying, it's not to bash anybody. It's a problem in Jamaica particularly.
So as a society, we need to start focusing on, you know, doing things to develop these issues that Jamaica may have, for a better Jamaica in the future. Anyways, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys want to see the full video from POLITRICKS watch, I'll put it in the description below. Comment down below and let me know if you agree with the questions. I know this is very controversial. Some people who are actually single moms or was actually in this situation may have a different insight. I'm open to a discussion, no hard feelings or anything like that. Comment down below, let's talk. I'm open to learning from you guys as well. I'm happy to have Shanika here, so thank her for being here, and hopefully the next time she visits she could be in another video. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and I'll see you in the next video. Bye. See you guys.